Okay, this video is about Kaibab National Forest camping in Arizona. Um, Now there is dispersed camping is allowed in all the national forests. Now don't get that mixed up with national parks, which don't allow dispersed camping. Dispersed camping means free camping, undeveloped sites. You don't have any hookups. You have no water. Uh, pit toilets, none of that kind of stuff. You have to take it in, take it out, kind of thing. They actually do allow it. Pooping. We all have to do it, and peeing. But if you're gonna dispose of your waste, you have to go a minimum of 6 inches deep, and then bury it, and then cover it up. And please do not poop in a plastic bag and bury the plastic bag. Toilet paper's okay, but do not bury your plastic bags with your number 2 in it, so to speak. Okay, but you want to go a minimum of 6 inches deep, and then make sure you bury it, and that's allowed. Okay. Now, Kaibab National Forest is about 6 miles south of Williams, Arizona, which is right on the Interstate 40. And it's a very huge national forest. Because of the COVID-19, though, many of the national forests have closed down their designated campgrounds, which are developed, which, cost money to camp in. They're closed down. A lot of the trailheads where people like going hiking are closed down. Day use areas are closed down. They should be opening them up. Some of them might have opened up already. Okay. And this is May 20th, dropping down to the 40s at night, and then the low 70s during the day. Very nice camping weather. Now, what I would recommend, if you can get to a Forest Service office, or many of the visitor centers also, I'm not sure if they're open yet, but they carry what's called a motor vehicle use map for each national forest, and they're free. So you can get those, and they're big pull-out maps, and they show you all the roads and facilities, and specifically where dispersed camping is allowed. You can't just camp anywhere. You have to get one of those maps, and it'll show you where you're allowed to just pull off of the main dirt roads and stuff, the Forest Service roads. They want you to be a minimum of 30 feet away from any of their roads, and you can go back up to 300 feet from one of their main roads. Okay, that's roughly the rule there. And it's free camping, 14 days per month for free. So you can't really beat that. But then you have to leave that national forest, and you are allowed to go to another national forest, camp for another 14 days. So you can jump from one to another, but I've seen YouTubers saying, "Oh, all you have to do is move 5 miles." It's not true. You're only allowed 2 weeks in any particular national forest. Then you can go to another national forest, and sometimes they're adjacent to each other. Sometimes it's not a long drive. Well, one YouTuber said you only have to go 5 miles, set up a camp somewhere 5 miles away, and you can't do that. Not in the same national forest. The fine, and they are pretty good about seeing how long you've been there, and the fine's around $100 if you stay over 14 days. They're going to fine you. The rangers, which it's their job, to prevent homesteading and people setting up camp for months and months on one spot. So anyway, it's nice, it's in the woods and stuff, and I'm sure there's other nicer spots than I picked here. Some might even be on a lake or a pond, or a stream or something. So far I haven't found any. I do mostly BLM camping, but now I'm doing national forest camping because it's free, and my trailer is all self-contained. I've got a furnace in there. I've got a shower, hot water, stove, cooking facilities, the whole 9 yards, holding tanks, which literally I can go about 5 weeks without having to dump my tanks. It all depends on how many people you have and everything else. But okay, if you can't get your hands on one of the national forest maps of that particular national forest, you can also go to Avenza Maps on your phone. Download that app. It's called Avenza, Avenza, Avenza Maps. And then when you click their store icon, if you have an internet connection, and here I've got 2 to 4 bars of 4G with Verizon, and my satellite antenna also is working here. But if you click the store icon at the Avenza Maps app that you have downloaded on your phone, then you just type in what national forest you're interested in, and you can download for free on Avenza Maps the road use map, the vehicle use map, and that shows you the areas where you can do dispersed camping. So Avenza Maps I recommend. They have over 1 million maps, a lot of great maps. Some cost $4 or $5, some 15, but most of the ones National Forest maps are all free. All the BLM maps are on there, depending on where you're camping, what state or whatever. They're all free. So I recommend Avenza Maps. I've been using it for a few years, and you can't beat free maps, coming up on your phone. And they usually have GPS locators. So when you're out in the forest, and you click on the map for that national forest, it'll show you exactly where you are and what Forest Service road you're on and everything else. Not sure what else I wanted to say. Mainly, the rules are pretty simple. If you're going to disperse camp and get the 14-day limit, and just abide by it, and you won't get fined and in trouble with the rangers. Okay, that's about it for this episode. This is Eagle Eric signing off.